Ever wondered how game designers build amazing maps? Today, I'm recreating one of the arenas from a very popular mobile game, Clash Royale. In this video, the focus will be on the modeling of the arena, using different techniques and tools to help create the arena. We are first going to create the platform where the arena will sit. Add in a cube and size it down to the same shape as the reference. To create the curved edges, click Ctrl+B to bevel the edges. Then select the face on top and size down to create the sloped faces. After creating the platform, we can move on to the arena itself. Just start blocking out the rough shape of the arena by using simple 3D shapes like the cuboid or cube. Make sure to look at the different heights and positioning of the ground layers to create an accurate 3D model. Once I have mapped out the rough shape, I start to add loop cuts to the cuboids to help cut the faces of the cube to smaller multiple faces and make it easier when creating the curved and sharp edges. You can always slide the vertex edges to create more space for the bevels, or you can dissolve the edges. Creating the rocks is very simple. Add a cube and bevel all the edges of the cube by one segment, which creates a similar shape to the reference picture. Move the rock into position, and you can adjust the size of the rocks with the vertex selection in the wireframe mode. Wireframe mode makes it easier to see the whole cube and select multiple vertex. When modeling high-poly characters or maps, make sure to always have close-up photos of the small objects, for example the rocks, trees, arrows, etc. Use proportional editing to create small hills on the ground layer. Extrude and grab to create ununiformed walls. Moving on to the tree, add a cube and give it a subdivision modifier with Ctrl+2, which turns it into a sphere. Add loop cuts to create a cube shape and size it to the shape of the trunk. For the leaves, duplicate the face on the top and click P to separate the face. Extrude to give it some volume and then add more loop cuts. With more loop cuts, you can then move the edges separately to the rest of the cube and create a more natural shape similar to the reference picture. To create the outer bark cut, select the two edges and then bevel, extrude the selected faces back to create the outer bark shape. For the bridge, just add a cube and create a plank shape by extruding on the x-axis and sizing down on the z-axis. Angle the planks like the reference and also gives it a more natural look. Same with the fence. Create shapes of wooden planks and angle them. Make sure to add the cubes in the edit mode, because on object mode, when a mesh object is added, it is a separate object. In edit mode, when a mesh object is added, they are all part of one object. Use wireframe mode and vertex select to move the position of the fence and match the reference. Add a cylinder and have the vertices set to 8 to create the shape of the target. Add a 1 segments bevel to help create a similar shape to the reference and adjust the vertex points. Select the vertex points and click J to join them. Bevel the edges and then delete the faces to create the wooden planks. To create the chip on the plank, add a loop cut and bevel the face. Move the vertex back to create the shape, and then delete the faces and fill in the face on the inside. This process is very simple to create cuts in wooden planks and logs. For the support, create a long wooden plank shape and angle it, making sure that the faces on the bottom are flat. Only created 2 supports, as that's what you can see in the reference and what will be seen in the render. Create a long cuboid shape, then create 2 loop cuts with bevel. Extrude the faces on the x-axis and then move them on the z-axis to create the feathers of the arrow. Use the same technique as the cuts on the target to create the individual feathers. Add a cylinder with 32 vertices and inset the faces. Then delete the faces to create a hollowing trunk and fill in the thickness. Use face select and delete the faces to create holes in the log. Adjust the vertex points to create cuts and holes on the log. Extruding faces to create a more natural look and then using proportional editing to adjust the thickness of the log. Create the length and thickness of the blade. Add a loop cut in the middle and size on the y-axis to create the blade's thickness. Loop cut and size down to create the tip of the blade. Inset the top face and extrude up to create the handle. Use bevel and size to create the handle of the sword. Add in a plain mesh and size it down to the river shape. Select the edge vertex and extrude to create a curved shape showing the waterfall. You can create this curved shape by using extrude or Ctrl right-click, making sure you're on the side view. Same with the back, however, you will not be able to see this in the render. Bevel the edges to create a more curved and smooth shape. Select the top layer of the ground and duplicated the vertex, then make sure to separate. Add a solidify modifier and increase the offset to 1. Do the same with the other ground layers. This will be the grass layer that will sit on top of the soil. Finally, add a bevel and subdivision to all the objects to create a natural look, making sure that the bevel is on top of the subdivision in the Modifiers tab. This will create a sharper edge, but still keep the curved surface from the subdivision. In part 2, I will add in textures, shades and lighting to complete the Clash Royale arena model. Have a go at modeling your own maps or arenas from your favorite games, or follow along with the techniques I used. Make sure you like, subscribe and comment if you found this video helpful.